There are games that are old school, and then there are games that harken back to the old school. Monster Tale is a welcome homage to the Metroid-style games of old, and still feels fresh, despite a few minor flaws. Starting off with the graphics, Monster Tale has some of the best 2D animation that exists on the DS. The environments are varied as well as beautiful, and all the characters and creatures all have fluent animation. Some of the monsters' animations are just palette swaps, but there are more that are unique than there are that are copies. So it's nothing major to lower the game's excellent first impression. Music, on the other hand, doesn't come off quite as strong, but it still adds to the game's charm nonetheless. The tracks are very catchy. You'll remember them long after you put the game down. Just listen to some of this. Good stuff. The sound effects follow the same thing. They're good, but they're not fantastic. Not too much else to say about the presentation, but it adds to the game's tone. Nostalgic, but new. But graphics and music don't make a good game. Luckily, Monster Tale finds almost a perfect balance between old and new. Well, almost. Monster Tale takes inspiration from many old school series, most notably Metroid, due to its open world and backtracking, not to mention a very similar map system. It's really fun to explore the world due to its varied environments, and the game is very enjoyable, despite its short length of about 8 hours. The boss battles are epic, as well as varied, and give you a good chance to use your various techniques that you have tamed from your monster. Speaking of which, it may seem odd having an AI partner in a game such as this, but your companion is actually quite useful. Inside of battle they can easily dispatch enemies, and outside of battle they can help you reach areas that you couldn't before. However, the monster mechanics do feel a bit underused, and a bit too basic. And in the game that encourages exploring, it's surprising to see how few items there are. Not to mention how you can actually buy upgrades at a shop. Kinda defeats the purpose of actually exploring the world to get stronger, doesn't it? And even though that this game may look colorful and bright, giving you the impression it is easy, which for the most part it is, there are some parts which are incredibly frustrating, and that can be a bit annoying. These gripes aside, there's nothing major that will take away from the overall experience. There's no frame rate drops. There's nothing that's going to break the game, such as dumb AI. Monster Tale is a very well-built game that I wholeheartedly recommend to Metroid fans, or for those who want to introduce a younger child to the action exploration games of old. Now you might be wondering why I haven't brought up story yet. That's because it's not a very story-eccentric game, and I thought it shouldn't have been weighed against this game. But unfortunately, it has one of those cliffhanger endings. If, ooh, we sell enough copies, we'll have another game. Shameless sequel bait. Either way, the story's not very interesting, and you can definitely tell that they were aiming for a younger audience with this game. Although there are some parts that pay tribute to other games that are kind of clever. Like, I wonder who this bimbo who doesn't know how to run a kingdom looks like. While it's not perfect, Monster Tale is a solid game well worth adding to your DS collection. My overall rating for it is an 8 out of 10. Well, that's all I have to say for now. Tune in next time where I look back on some of the best games of the good old dual screen. Until then, Kaz the Gamer Guy is up and out.